Long before thunderbolts lit up the sky, an older, more primordial generation of deities held sway over the universe. They weren't just giants. They were the raw, untamed forces of nature itself. They were the Titans, the very first dynasty of gods. And their story is one of epic power, tragic downfall, and forgotten glory. Our story begins at the dawn of time with the first two primordial beings, Uranus, the sky, and Gaia. The earth, from their union came 12 children, a mighty generation of 6 male titans and 6 female titanesses. Among them were Oceanus, the great river that encircled the world; Hyperion, the lord of celestial light; Rhea, the gentle goddess of motherhood; and Themis, the embodiment of divine law. But the youngest, Cronus, was the most cunning and ambitious of them all. Their father, Uranus, was a cruel and paranoid ruler. Agira, he despised his powerful children, and in a fit of fear, he imprisoned his more monstrous offspring, the one-eyed Cyclopes and the 100-handed, hecatoncures deep within the earth, in the dark abyss of Tartarus. Gaia, the Earth Mother, was heartbroken and enraged by her husband's cruelty. She pleaded with her Titan children to rise up and overthrow their tyrannical father. But only one was brave enough to answer her call, Cronus. Gaia forged a sickle of unbreakable adamantine and gave it to her son. In a moment that would change the course of cosmic history, Cronus ambushed and overthrew his father. With that, the age of Uranus was over. Cronus became the new king of the gods, and the reign of the Titans began. Under Cronus's rule, the world blossomed. This era became known as the Golden Age, a time of unparalleled peace and prosperity. Humanity lived without toil or sorrow, and the earth provided its bounty freely. It was a paradise. But a dark shadow loomed over the throne. A curse uttered by his vanquished father haunted Cronus day and night. The prophecy was simple and terrifying. Just as Cronus had overthrown his own father, he too would be overthrown by his own child. This fear consumed him, twisting him into a tyrant even more cruel than Uranus. To prevent the prophecy from ever coming true, he devised a horrifying solution. Every time his wife, the Titaness Rhea, gave birth, Cronus would seize the newborn infant and swallow it whole. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon one by one. They were consumed by their father, imprisoned in the darkness of his stomach. Rhea was devastated. She prepared to give birth to her 6th child. She knew she couldn't bear to lose another. Desperate, she conspired with her mother, Gaia, to save the infant. She secretly traveled to the island of Crete, where she gave birth to a son named Zeus. Leaving him in the care of nymphs, she returned to Cronus. But instead of a baby, she presented her husband with a large stone wrapped in swaddling clothes. Blinded by his paranoia, Cronus didn't even notice the deception. He swallowed the stone, believing he had once again cheated fate. Hidden away on Crete, Zeus grew into a powerful and determined young god. When he came of age, he was ready to fulfill his destiny, to challenge his father and free his siblings. With the help of the Titaness Metis, he concocted a special potion. Disguised, he served it to Cronus, who, upon drinking it, was overcome with nausea. He vomited up the stone he had swallowed years ago, and then, one by one, 5 other children emerged, now fully grown and furious. The gods of Olympus were united at last. Led by Zeus, they declared war on Cronus and his Titan dynasty. What followed was a conflict of cosmic proportions, a war that would shake the foundations of the universe, the Titanomachy. This wasn't just a battle, it was a 10-year-long cataclysm. The heavens trembled, the earth split open, and the seas boiled with rage. The Titans, wielding their immense primordial strength, tore entire mountains from their roots and hurled them as weapons. The younger gods fought back with equal ferocity, but for years, neither side could gain an advantage. The war was a brutal stalemate. But Zeus had a secret weapon. He journeyed into the depths of Tartarus and freed the monstrous siblings his father had imprisoned. The Cyclopes and the hecatoncures, eternally grateful for their liberation, Cyclopes used their masterful forging skills to craft incredible weapons for the new gods. For Zeus, they created the thunderbolt, a weapon of pure, destructive lightning. For Poseidon, they forged the mighty trident, giving him command over the oceans and earthquakes. And for Hades, they crafted the helm of darkness, which allowed him to become invisible. The power of the Titans, though immense, could not stand against the combined might of the Olympians and their monstrous allies. After a decade of relentless war, the Titans were finally defeated. Their dynasty fell, and a new order was established. Zeus and his siblings ascended to Mount Olympus, dividing the cosmos among themselves. The punishment for the vanquished Titans was severe. Most of those who had fought against Zeus were bound in unbreakable chains and cast back into the eternal darkness of Tartarus, guarded forever by the Hecatoncheirus they once feared. One of the most famous punishments was reserved for the Titan general Atlas, who had led Cronus's armies. Instead of imprisonment in Tartarus, he was condemned to stand at the western edge of the world, forced to bear the crushing weight of the heavens upon his shoulders for all eternity, a constant agonizing reminder of the Titans' defeat. So who were the Titans? They weren't simply mindless monsters like the Hydra or the Minotaur. They were a fallen dynasty, the personification of ancient chaotic forces of nature that had to be tamed. They represent the old order giving way to the new, a story of rebellion, the corrupting influence of fear, and the inevitable cycle of power. They are the forgotten giants, the deposed kings, and the very foundation upon which the world of Greek myths, heroes, and gods was built. Their epic tale reminds us that even the most powerful rulers can fall, and that every new beginning is born from the end of something else. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the Age of Titans, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the myths and legends that shaped our world. See you next time.